This is Making Stitches, and this time I'm sharing a bonus episode in a bid to spread the word about a very special project which has been launched to support the Little Box of Crochet after a very tricky year.
Everyone wanted to show Justine, was support more than we didn't know, how much it will raise for her. We hoped it would go some way towards this, but I think the most important thing was just showing that there's support there, that, people feel that way. And I think we just had such a lovely feeling amongst the designers doing it, that we just felt, it was just a lovely thing. And people would comment in our little a clandestine group, as I think Katie called it, I loved the clandestine project, that's what he called it. So he was sort of, typing away, being very supportive, offering his help everywhere. And people were just, do you need any help? It was great. Everyone was really supportive. And I kind of miss it in a way.
But what a beautiful bunch of people. And I know there's always exceptions to the rule and whatever, but honestly, creative people and small business people are so supportive of each other. And I think it just needs to happen, more and more, because there's enough out there for everybody. And we can support each other in so many different ways. And this is just the most perfect example, of that. And they're all very beautiful people.
Hello and welcome to Making Stitches podcast. I'm Lindsay. I've been a maker for as long as I can remember, and as a former journalist, I love hearing people's stories. Making Stitches gives me the perfect excuse to chat to fabulous creative people about what they do and then share those chats with you. December starts next week, which means we are officially on the countdown to Christmas. That means there's still time to make a few Christmas gifts for special people or decorations for your home. And in this special bonus episode, I'm sharing a chat I had with Justine from Little Box of Crochet and crochet designer and teacher Nicky Ward from A Heart-Shaped Cherry. Followers of Little Box of Crochet will no doubt be aware that 2025 has been a difficult year for Justine. One of the things she's had to deal with involved being badly let down on a yarn order for her Summer Box of Crochet, which left her severely out of pocket and struggling through no fault of her own. In an attempt to help Justine recoup some of her financial losses, a group of crochet designers have donated Christmas-themed crochet patterns to be included in a special ebook, which was curated and edited by Nicky Ward. Last weekend, I spoke to them both about Merry Christmas Makes. In our chat, as Justine spoke about the difficulties she's faced this year, she got quite upset for obvious reasons. Before putting this out for everyone to listen to, I made sure that Justine had the chance to listen back to our conversation, and she said she's happy for this to be published.
I'm joined now by Justine from Little Box of Crochet and Nicky from A Heart-Shaped Cherry. How lovely to see you, ladies.
Lovely to be here, honey.
And the reason why we're having a chat today is to talk about a very special Christmas ebook of crochet patterns which have just appeared within the last couple of weeks on Justine's Little Box of Crochet site, and I just thought there's a story behind it, and it was really important to share it and try and push the word out to as far and wide as possible so that people know that this little book of lovely little Christmas knickknacks that you can make up in plenty of time for Christmas, and so people would know it's there. But Justine, first of all, do you want to just talk me through the last few months for you at Little Box of Crochet hasn't been entirely smooth, has it?
No, that's a very lovely and polite way of putting it, darling. Thank you. We're going to keep it clean. It's been really tough. It was a tough beginning of the year, which a lot of people already know about. And then it just continued to get tougher. And I had a big box that was coming out for the summer, using a specific brand of yarn, and unfortunately, all the yarn that was delivered for the box, a massive chunk of it was missing, and the boxes were very badly damaged, and we lost a lot of the yarn through the holes in the boxes. And it was really distressing, really, really distressing, because people had paid for these boxes, they needed to go out, and it was a fabulous box as well. I was so excited about it. And I did a live the day the yarn arrived, and I wasn't really thinking about it, and I didn't actually think it would get the traction that it did. But we were so shocked at the appalling way the yarn arrived, um, due to the courier. And the chap that was unloading it off the lorry for us just kept saying, "I'm really sorry, I'm really sorry." And he was handing us boxes and then handing us the lid to the box. So he was like, I don't know what was supposed to be in here, but these boxes aren't full, because the lids had come off, there were holes in them. I mean, it was awful. And I think because I was so shocked at how um badly this had arrived and how this was going to affect us, we'd basically waited all day for this yarn to arrive, because we were sitting there waiting to load the boxes, pack the boxes, which we do very carefully. There's a lot of love and care that goes into our boxes. And when they arrived in that state, I think I was so shocked that I took to Instagram straight away and did a live. I wasn't actually expecting to get as emotional as I did. But I think as I was explaining what had happened, I started to relay in my head actually the knock-on effect that was going to have, because these boxes needed to go out. And I got really upset, and the video got loads and loads of traction. And basically what happened, I'll shorten it now, but what happened was it took months for me to get this yarn. And unfortunately, the yarn that we'd chosen for the box, which the cardigan is beautiful. It's Eleonora Tully, Coastal Crochet designed it. She did a beautiful job. We sat there and we picked the colours together. But unfortunately, the yarn that we decided, nobody else makes anything equivalent. So I couldn't even switch it out for something else. You know what I mean? Like if it was like just a 4-ply cotton, I could have gone somewhere else and gotten it. If it was an acrylic DK, I could have gone somewhere else and gotten it. We couldn't get this yarn. It was a very, very specific yarn. And basically the company said, well, the minute it leaves our warehouse, we take no responsibility for it, which I'd never heard of. I didn't understand what X Works was, which is a term. And it wasn't until I started digging and started investigating that I started to find other people that had a very similar situation with the same company. And it just screamed of the fact that they're a very big company and that there was very little care in what had happened. And obviously I was a lot of money out of pocket. And people were still wanting these boxes, obviously. I had to issue refunds. And it took months for me to be able to re-get the yarn, which I then had to just pay for all over again. We then had to pay for a courier to collect it from Europe, because I wasn't prepared to use the courier they'd used before, because the boxes were wrecked. So we paid 2 lots of import taxes. It just cost me an absolute fortune. And it was soul destroying. And honestly, it very nearly closed me down. And if I'm honest, that feeling is still there. So, yeah. Oh God, I'm sorry. Yeah, it was just a big deal. £3,000 to a small company. When you're a one-man band, that is a very, very big deal. And thankfully, I've got some very, very supportive people around me. And Nicky, bless her heart, um, came to the rescue. You know, I had people that were very generous and said, don't worry about it. You know, the boxes will come when they will come. Don't get me wrong. A lot of people were so wonderful, but it was very, very stressful. And it was really difficult. It was really difficult. And it was in a weird way where people then started to come out of the woodwork to say they'd had the same experience. You know how you feel awful, obviously, for other people, but in a way it makes you feel better because you realise it's not just you and it's not something that you did. Because, you know, when you run a small business, you do everything on your own and you think, God, should I have, you know, did I not read the small print? Did I not do this? Did I not do that? And to actually find there were a lot of other people that have had the same experience was heartwarming, but completely distressing all at the same time. Um, but yeah, I am, you know, I'm so very grateful to the people that stood by us. And Nicky just came out of the woodwork really and did an amazing thing, which I'm deliberately not saying anything because I want Nicky to tell you about it, but the designers that came forward and with Nicky, they're just, I can't thank them enough. They were so sweet. So yeah, I'm very, very appreciative, but I didn't think I'd get upset, but you know what? It's still hard. And so I guess just explaining that to people, but also to know that other small businesses out there, I'm a big advocate of upping anybody, any of the small businesses, because it's hard work. It is really hard work. And just showing other people support and then getting that support in return is priceless, absolutely priceless. So yeah, I'm done because I'll keep crying otherwise.
Are you okay, Justine? Are you okay to carry
Yeah,
on?
I'm fine. I'm fine. It just, you know, I take each day as it comes, but it's hard. It is hard. But yeah, I'm fine. Honestly, I'm fine.
Good, good. Yeah, it was distressing to see your posts in the summer when this was happening, and it's just seeing something happening to you that was completely out of your control. And that must have been, I can't comprehend what it was like being on the receiving end of a situation like that, Justine.
Well, you know what it's like. Nobody ever wants to let anybody down, do they? And even though it wasn't my fault, there was nothing we could have done about it. It was completely out of our hands. I then just the knock-on effect it had was phenomenal because not only were these poor people not getting their boxes, and don't get me wrong, a lot of people were absolutely amazing, and they just said, "Look, at the end of the day, it's only crochet," and I get that, I do get that, but also I also understand that people have paid for something, and if you've paid for something, you're expecting it. So it was just this constant, you know, apologizing that I was doing. You know, I just wanted everybody to know that I got it and I was really sorry. Obviously, it wasn't my fault as it were, but the knock-on effect was humongous because then I had to make the decision, which wasn't hard, to be honest, to say that I was never going to use this company again. And especially when I found out that it had happened to other people, I was just like, I'm not prepared to do it. I'm not who knowingly spends, you know, a small business spends £1,500 on yarn, not knowing whether it's going to arrive. And if it doesn't arrive, there's no comeback. Why would you do that? What Nobody in their right minds would do that. And so I made a choice to not use them anymore, which I stand by. I still think it's the right choice. And so I had to find alternatives, whereas we'd already got, you know, designers that had written patterns using this yarn. They then had to rewrite all the patterns using a different yarn. And the other company that we use, I mean, bless them, they're brilliant, but they're a much smaller company. So of course, all the colours were selling out. because I was using them for Little Box of Crochet. So the knock-on effect that it's had has been massive, because then it delayed my regular monthly boxes as well, not just this big, one-off box. Sorry if you can hear snuffling. My French bulldog is coming to sit next to me, and she's not the quietest of dogs. So actually, I think the reason I'm probably still upset, it's not even about the fact that it happened now, it's the fact that it's still affecting the business, because it just so happened, unfortunately, I had two designers that had to pull out, which had nothing to do with the yarn or anything. That was for personal reasons. So then I quickly wrote two patterns. And because there were things that I kind of had in my arsenal ready, I was going to use them for next year, they were in 4-ply cotton. So then we had 5 months of patterns that were all going to be used in this cotton that actually we couldn't get hold of. So the knock-on effect that it had, that I'm still dealing with now, um, it, 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 I think that's why I'm still upset, because I'm still having to apologise, because it's still having an effect. So the designers that I've got in place for next year, I've said to them, please do not use 4-ply cotton, because it just, I need to get back on track with it all. And we're trying to find, and Nicky's helping me with this, we're trying to find yarns we've never used before, because I do think it's really interesting to use other yarns and give people a chance to have a go with something maybe they wouldn't normally buy. And obviously, a 4-ply 50 gram, 25 gram, 10 gram 4-ply ball of yarn in our boxes is perfect, because they're little tiny boxes, so they're cute and they work really well. But we need to have a break, because I need the company that I'm using to catch up. But also it's making us go out and find other yarns that will fit in our box. And that is not a bad thing. But at the moment, it's at the detriment to the wonderful people that subscribe, because their boxes are delayed. So thankfully, the January box is completely different. It's a King Cole yarn, and it's completely different. But yeah, so it's not just about that one company. It's then just about the knock-on effect from that company. And okay, I made that decision to not use them again. But why would I use something that I have got no guarantee that it's going to turn up? I just, as a small company, I cannot afford to lose £3,000. So I still stand by my decision. But yeah, it's an ongoing issue.
Yeah. The unpredictability must have, knocked you for six, in addition to the stress and the expense. I can't comprehend what it's been like for you, Justine. And I know,
God bless you.
I'm not alone because I've seen the comments and everything that's come through online, that there's an awful lot of people wishing you very well and
absolutely
want you to get through this.
People have been so lovely, I can't tell you. And normally, I think what makes it slightly more difficult, which again is, it's my choice. This is a subscription box. So people expect their boxes every month, and I get it. That's what you're paying for. But actually, the pressure is unbelievable, because the minute you have a knock-on effect, those boxes don't go out, and then that has an effect, and that has an effect. If I was just a designer and the yarn got messed up, well, it doesn't matter. People are waiting for a kit, maybe, but that's not the end of the world. Whereas every month, you've got to get a box out, and when those boxes, it starts to fall like dominoes. And also, you can't stop. You can't. I had to take a month off in June, because the consequence of this was, in the end, I had a breakdown and I was hospitalised. So I had to take a month off. But how many times can you do that?
Sorry,
Because it's a subscription box, and you have to keep going. So yeah, it's been hard. It has been really hard.
Yeah, I can see that.
God, I just feel like I spent my whole life apologising and crying. I am so sorry.
No, please don't apologise. You've got nothing to apologise for.
Oh, man, it's just you just don't want to let people down, you know.
Mhm. Of course.
But yeah, thankfully I've got people like you to keep me going.
Oh, shall we have a chat with Nicky? Give you a moment.
Yeah, chat with Nicky. People are so over hearing me cry.
Okay, so Nicky, you came up with an idea to try and help Justine in her current situation. Do you want to tell me how the idea came to you and what you actually ended up doing?
Well, I was obviously starting to see this whole saga unroll and thought, oh no, that's terrible. You know, if I was in that situation, how awful that would be. And I think I was following some post where someone was saying, oh, we'll do a GoFundMe. We'll do a GoFundMe for you, Justine. And Justine was
Yeah.
like, no, no, don't do that. Don't do that. And I thought, she's obviously really uncomfortable with that idea. So then it got me thinking, if I went and had a look at her website and I thought, she's not got much that she can earn some passive income from. There's a very few patterns on there. And I just thought that's what she needs. She needs something that she can recoup the losses by, you know, not having to do anything, which would be selling patterns. So I thought, I wonder if any of the other designers that have already done the Little Box of Crochet would, you know, contribute a pattern, and then perhaps I could just put a little ebook together. I didn't really think about how much work it would be. I just thought, oh, that sounds like it would be a really good idea. So it was actually Helen from MCAT Crochet and Apple Blossom Dreams that I sounded her out about it and thought, I wonder what she'll think. And then hopefully that will give me a view as to what other people would feel about it and whether a bit of a sanity check, really. I get some wacky ideas and I sometimes just need to sound them out with people. So she said, I think that sounds a really good idea. And so we basically I just randomly looked at people that had done the boxes before and just contacted them. It was very haphazard. And I just thought, well, if someone says no, they can't do it, I'll just keep moving on. Well, everyone that I approached that saw my message on Instagram basically said yes. So that told me a lot. To be fair, that told me a lot. That told me how much they, you know, wanted to support Justine and felt that this was the right thing that we could do. And they willingly donated a pattern each, which was marvelous. Some of them were brand new patterns. So it was quite exciting. And I think if I'd been paying them, I don't think I'd have got the patterns through as quickly as I got by just donate. It was just amazing. They were just coming through thick and fast. And I was trying to edit them and put them into some kind of a format where they looked like they belonged together. And away we went, really. It was amazing. And everyone was really supportive. Someone said, I think it was Heather from Keep Calm and Crochet. I can't remember what the O stands for. Is it on?
Yeah.
Yeah, she suggested the ebook tour, so that went ahead, and they've all got a copy of the ebook, and they've been promoting it, not just on the ebook tour. It's been amazing. It's been a great, fun thing for me to do as well. I really enjoyed it. So, I just, yeah, it's just been a win-win, really. That's all I've got really to say about it, I think, Justine, apart from the fact that she's got all emotional on me.
Oh, I'm
You know,
okay
yeah.
now. I've blown my nose and I'm back in the room. The tears have ended. We're all right.
Fantastic. Yeah. No, it's an absolutely beautiful ebook that's been pulled together, and it's such a
Oh, it's
wide,
amazing.
yeah, it's such a wide variety of different designers and different
Yeah.
projects to make. It's absolutely beautiful.
I was blown away. So Nicky, bless her cottons, she had messaged me and kind of had to sound me out without trying to tell me anything, which I totally get and I really appreciate that. Because yeah, it was so lovely when somebody said let's do a crowdfund, you know, a GoFundMe or whatever. But yeah, I was mortified, but I was so appreciative of the suggestion. And when Nicky sounded me out for it, I was like, oh my God, that's amazing. Like, you know, if they don't say yes, please don't worry about it because everyone's busy. Do you know what I mean? I'm under no illusions. These are all designers and they're constantly trying to get patterns out and they're doing their own thing. But oh my God. And for some reason, I don't know why. I don't know. I just didn't think about it, I don't think. I had no concept it was going to be Christmas based. I didn't think anything. I just was so grateful and so grateful to Nicky and just kept saying to Nicky, look, if it doesn't come off, please don't worry. I'm just so grateful of the thought, you know, and whatever. And then I would just get these messages going, we're on. But obviously she wanted me to know things were moving, but she didn't want to tell me anything. So we'd have these back and forwards, which was hilarious. And then when she sent it to me, my oh I know I burst into tears because the patterns are just amazing. I was gobsmacked at the people that had said yes. I was so grateful. I had no idea how many. I didn't know what they would be. And everyone I was going, oh my God, I love that. Oh my God, I love that. Oh my God, I love that. You know, you flick through. And I'm like, I want to make all of those. I just loved all of them. And then Nicky had gone to Chrissy, who's the lovely lady that does I tell her what I want on the box on Little Box of Crochet. Chrissy is the magical lady that brings my idea to life. And Nicky had gone to Chrissy and said, you know, what fonts do you use? What colours do you use? So Chrissy was kind of in on it. And then Nicky just put together this ebook and the cover. And honestly, I was blown away. I'm still blown away. I'm so blown away that I don't mean that people are buying it because I don't mean that in a negative way. I'm so grateful that people are buying it. And the book tour has just been brilliant. I'm so unbelievably grateful. I can't tell you. And the work that's gone into it from everyone's behalf, but especially Nick, because Nicky put, you know, she did the design, she put all the patterns together. It's brilliant. If you haven't seen it, or even if you don't buy it, go and just have a look at the pictures because the patterns are just gorgeous. Yeah. And it just shows you what people can do when they support other people. You know, and I never thought in a million years of that would be a thing. Because we'd made a decision not to do, we normally do a big box in the summer, and we do a big box at Christmas. And I just did not want to produce a big box knowing that at that point I still hadn't got all the summer boxes out and it just didn't sit right. And it was just something that I decided that we weren't going to do because it wasn't right. And also, I'm glad I didn't because there would have been so much pressure to get that out as well. So it was the right decision to make. And it wasn't until Nicky said to me, well, I knew you couldn't do a big Christmas box. So, of course, it was going to be Christmas patterns. And I was just like, yes, that's absolutely brilliant. Brilliant.
Fantastic. Honestly, Nicky, you've done a fantastic job. Having seen it myself, it is absolutely beautiful. You know, well done, you.
Yeah, no, I mean, it was obvious to me it had to be Christmas things. And it was just a thing where you think, I've got the skills, like, you know, my previous life, I was a graphic designer. So it was a no-brainer to me that I'd be able to do this thing. And I thought it'd be, you know, it'd be something I could maybe do for myself another time, put an ebook together and things. So it's like, you know, good practice as well. So it was, you know, I just thought, of course, this was the thing I was going to do. I didn't even think about it really. It was a no-brainer. And we all wanted to show, everyone wanted to show Justine, you know, was support more than we didn't know, you know, how much it will raise for her. We hoped it would go some way towards this, but I think the most important thing was just showing that there's support there, that, you know, people feel that way, that and I think we just had such a lovely feeling amongst the designers doing it, that we just felt, you know, it was just a lovely thing. And people would comment in our little a clandestine group, as I think Katie called it, I loved the clandestine project. That's what he called it. So he was sort of, you know, typing away, being very supportive, offering his help everywhere. And yeah, people were just, do you need any help? So yeah, it was great. Everyone was really supportive. And yeah, I kind of miss it in a way.
But what a beautiful bunch of people. And I know there's always exceptions to the rule and whatever, but honestly, creative people and small business people are so supportive of each other. And I think it just needs to happen, more and more, because there's enough out there for everybody. And we can support each other in so many different ways. And this is just the most perfect example, of that. And they're all very beautiful people.
Yes, absolutely, absolutely. Where can people get this ebook then? If somebody hasn't heard about it before now and they're
Yeah.
listening
Yeah,
now
yeah,
and they
yeah.
want to get it themselves, where can they find it?
Also, I'm going to tell you that, but also, Lindsay, I want to say thank you to you as well, because this is also helping. So you're helping us by telling people about it as well. So thank you to you for doing this. If you go onto littleboxofcrochet.com, which is our website, obviously, if you're on Instagram or Facebook, you can look us up and there's links on there as well. But if you go to littleboxofcrochet.com and look for the Christmas tab, because what Chrissy actually did was she put anything that we sell that's Christmas related, bless her, she put it all on one page. So any kind of past Christmas boxes we've got. But if you go to the Christmas tab, the very first thing at the top of the page is all about the ebook, and click here to buy now. So it's all about the ebook, and they'll then get 2 emails. The first one is like a receipt, and the second one has a link that you copy and paste, and it will take you to the PDF, which obviously you can then download.
Fantastic. So it's very straightforward. And
Yeah.
yeah, no, listen, Justine, this is just a tiny little thing that I'm doing, and I'm really grateful that you've been able to share your story, which I can obviously has been difficult for you, and I appreciate you taking the time to speak to me when everything's going on at the minute, and Nicky,
No,
you too.
me and Nicky really appreciate you taking the time to do this little podcast, because every little thing, helps. And also, I'm going to do a cheeky little thing as well here. Also, the other thing that we've been doing, Nikki's going to kill me. We've been trying to get Nikki to 1,000 followers on
No.
Instagram. I knew she'd go mad. So we've really worked on this. I think she's only got like 9 followers left. So
I'm
anybody
going to
that
tell you.
she, she's going to kill me. But that was the other thing, is that what's been nice is that people that didn't know about Little Box Crochet, or people that knew about Little Box Crochet but that didn't know maybe about some of the other designers, I would hope that this has also showcased them, and they've got new followers where people have jumped, from one designer to the other. But yeah, because they're all amazing. They all do very different kind of crochet. But yeah, we got to get Nikki to 1,000 followers on Instagram. So yeah, that was my little cheeky plug for Nikki.
Brilliant.
Hot shed cherry.
So, Justine, that was very naughty of you, by the way. But I just wanted to say it's a bit like a potpourri of designers, of crochet designers. You can
Yeah,
mix, if you like, where you can just trial different patterns from different people.
yeah,
Perhaps what style of, because I've left their style pretty much as it came, but just tried to format it so that it had some sort of continuity. So, try and use similar terminology and everything in UK terms, but little thing at the front, like you do, Justine, with your little box of crochet, your
yeah,
little
yeah,
they have that. So I tried to keep it a little bit, well, as much as I could like that, but keeping the voice of the designer, so that you could then say, oh, I really love the way they chat or whatever in their pattern, or they
yeah.
write it just like I like it, and then you could follow that designer and get something else from it, basically.
Yeah, very much. Nikki left their patterns in their words. Yeah, I agree with you, because we all write crochet patterns slightly differently. Some are very chatty, some are very just to the point. And it's like anything. It's like when you follow a podcast or a YouTube, if you're following a crochet pattern, sometimes just the way somebody explains something just isn't for you. And that's what's lovely in this ebook is you do get a taste, and everybody's style is slightly different, their actual crochet style, but also the way they write a pattern. And Nikki's absolutely right. You gravitate towards different people. And me and Nikki, I must tell you, me and Nikki just gravitated towards each other on Instagram, and I can't remember who contacted who first. I think I asked Nikki to do a design for a box, but we just started banting back and forwards, and then Nikki said we really need to have a proper chat. Oh my God, Andy's never going to let me forget it. Me and Nikki had become Insta friends, kind of, you know how you make friends on Instagram. We had a phone call, and it was 5 hours long. I don't even think we took a pee break. We definitely didn't have lunch.
I had
And I
to
think we
keep
got
redialing you, Justine.
she had to keep redialing me. You know how it runs out after an hour?
Yeah.
We started at like 10, I think we started at 10 o'clock in the morning. And then funnily enough, at 3:30 in the afternoon, I had a conference call with the yarn brand that shall not be named. And it got to 28 minutes past 3. Me and Nikki were still on the phone.
And
And
we
I
would have
said, "Oh my
carried on.
God." Yeah, I said, "Oh my God, I've got to go. I've got this call about the yarn." And we'd been on the phone for 5.5 hours.
We're putting the world to rights, weren't we, Justine?
Oh, I tell you what, yeah,
At this point in our conversation, rather appropriately, we all got cut off thanks to the wonders of technology. Thankfully, we were able to reconnect though to continue our chat.
She is. She's just connecting now.
Is she coming in?
Hello. How appropriate that when we were talking about a very long conversation, we got cut off.
Talking about packing on and it cut us off.
It was very embarrassing, though, being on the phone for so long and then coming out of my office and saying, I've only just got off the phone.
Off the phone. Well, Andy said to me, because I then had to jump on this call. And then when I got off that call, Andy went, "Gosh, how many phone calls have you had today?" And I said, 2. And Andy went, "No, like all day." And I went, "Yeah, 2." He was like, "What?"
Having said that, my husband wasn't ever so surprised.
Oh, really? She's a talker, Lindsay. Watch her. She's a talker. But no, it did not feel like 5.5 hours, did it?
No.
There wasn't a break. We were just, yeah. You know when you just meet someone and you just get on. That was me and Nick.
We were talking about some really fun, interesting new ideas, though, too. So that was keeping
we were
going.
It was mainly crochet. There was other stuff, but it was mainly crochet, to be fair, and yarn.
Fantastic.
Oh, and other craft business stuff.
Yeah.
So it was completely professional and utterly necessary. Therefore,
Absolutely.
Absolutely.
We
like
were starving to death. Yeah, we were starving to death and needed a pee afterwards. But apart from that, we were fine.
I'm calling it a conference, Justine. That makes me
It
feel
was
better.
a conference.
Yes.
Can you have a conference with just 2 people? It was an all-day conference with 2 people in it.
It was.
My sincere thanks to Nicky and to Justine for speaking to me so openly for this special episode of Making Stitches. And I'd just like to reiterate that this episode is going out with Justine's blessing. In fact, here she is now.
People are sick of me getting upset. Next year will be better, I promise you. But the thing is, but also I'm a big advocate of, I want other people to know they're not on their own. And you are not telling me I am the only small business that gets up and just goes, "Oh my God, what am I? How am I going to get through today?" You know, there's just no way. And we all have, you know, peaks and troughs and all of that. And sometimes it can just feel like it can be so lonely running your own business. And I think sometimes you need to know that you're not on your own. And if you are having a bad day, you know, we're all out there. And I think with social media, the way it is, you know, we're so used to people looking immaculate and being chirpy and everything in my life is perfect. No, it's not. It's not like that. It's nice to look at that and kind of have a little image in your mind. But on a day-to-day basis, for most people, It isn't. And I think sometimes you do need to see a bit of reality. So I do not have a problem with that, because and cut it however you want, honey. But no, I don't mind. I think people need to know that life is tough sometimes.
So if you'd like to get your hands on a copy of this special ebook of Christmas crochet patterns, please check out the Little Box of Crochet website. You can find a link to that in the show notes for this episode, along with details of where you can find Justine and Nicky online. Please give Nicky a follow at a heart-shaped cherry and help her hit the 1,000 followers mark. Thank you so much for listening to this special bonus edition of Making Stitches, and please do grab yourself a copy of this very special Merry Christmas Makes ebook. It's a really beautiful collection of patterns. I'll be back again next week with another creative chat for you. Next time my guest is the crochet designer Anita Gibney. Until then, do take care of yourself though, and enjoy your crafting.